take you back in
every Friday.
It's time to go back.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Savvy Radio Show with your host, Savvy Landlord. Up next is the best deal ever on Fridays. Check out all episodes on Savvy Radio Show. Let's do it.
What's going on, Savvy investors? Yeah, think about it. It's Friday, and I'm going to break down a deal, a deal that I was involved in. I didn't pop it, but I learned a lot from it. Didn't pop it, but I learned from it. First of all, a friend of mine is moving, and he got into real estate. I helped him get into real estate. Actually, this friend knew me before I had any rental property, or just had a few, maybe 3 or 4 back then. And so he finally got into real estate maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and he started buying property. And the first couple of transactions I helped him with, I was like, hey, this is what I would do. This is what you should be looking for. This is a foundation issue. Anyway, one day he called me up and said, bam, I bought another house. And I was like, okay, where is it? Well, it's in a small town about 30 minutes east of Oklahoma City. And I was a little nervous because I knew that area, and it's not a high return type of environment. It's on an acre of land. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And it was moved there. What do you moved? I said, what do you mean? He's like, well, they poured a foundation and then they trucked the house there. And I was, back then I didn't want to be like, oh, you did a bad deal. And he said they were offering $35,000 for the house, and I offered 33, and they took my offer within the minute. And I said, well, that's okay. And so, when I went and looked at it back then, this is about 4 years ago, I was like, oh, shoot, I'd give about 20 something for this property. It has an acre of land, no garage, means no cutting of grass. I mean, it's just a house plumped on the middle of nowhere on a field. So get my perspective there. And so this friend of mine, he's moving and he's unloading his portfolio, and he called me, and I actually bought a house from him just recently. And then he's like, I have another one that I want to sell you. And I was like, okay, bro. So he sent me the address. I looked it up on the county assessor and it came in at $49,000. And I was like, okay. I saw that he bought the property for $33,000, and I went over to see the property, and it was in shambles. Like, the tenant just moved out. They lived in there. He was excited that, it was been making him money this whole time. In making money, and AKA deferred maintenance, someone's going to do the maintenance. And so, man, I ran the numbers. I mean, the floor was rotted out around the shower. There was a makeshift shower surround where the handyman drilled a hole for the manifold, which is the part that you turn on and off, and he had it in the wrong spot. So he just cocked in the hole in the shower, in the stand-up shower. The back door would not close without about 20 pounds of pressure. It was, to me, a disaster. It was laid out funky. It was a shotgun house. The central heat and air, it did have it. The condenser was falling off. The furnace, how they put the furnace in the house, that's the blower motor. They cut a hole on the eave of the property and shoved the furnace in there. It just, to me, I was not interested in the home at all, the property. And even though he was renting it out for $600 a month, and that seems like a good return. But first of all, it was 30 minutes outside of town. It was on an acre of land and no garage. And it needed, like, I ran the numbers forwards and backwards. It needed $15,000 to be livable. So I was like, well, bro, how much do you want? And we're friends. So he's like, I would like to have $35,000. And I was like, before I even got on the property, I was thinking on the numbers around 28 in my mind. But he was moving, going out of town. He needed the cash. And so, man, I milled this over. And I just like, bro, I'm sorry. Like, first of all, I really didn't want the house at all. And I said, but in my mind, I was like, if I buy it for 25, my exit strategy was I'm changing my portfolio right now, and I'm trying to push stuff to contract for deed or owner financed or lease option or whatever you want to call it. I'm actually in a creative finance mode. And I will be telling you more about that in the next few weeks or so. I just popped a deal myself that will be coming on in a couple of weeks on a owner financed. But I was going to, buy it for 25, get a bank loan, pull some equity out, maybe not, just in case for emergency, and then sell it to somebody else on paper. So I was like, man, I can only give you 25, and I'm sorry. And I mean, I took pictures, I did my due diligence, and he's like, can you do 30? And I was like, I can't. I got to stick to my 25. A, I don't want to buy it. B, if I'm going to buy it, I got to create some, equity for myself. And actually, I considered kind of a wholesaling. I learned from Thomas Morgan, lock it up. So I was going to, lock it up for 25, wholesale it for 27, 29, maybe 5, pay for the closing, go down the road. So he's like, let me talk to my wife and I'll get back with you. But I really want to take 25. If we don't, we're going to throw it out there. And if we don't sell it, I'll sell it to you for 25. So I knew I was going to get it for 25, I thought. So a couple of days later, like a week later, I was like, hey, what's the deal with that house? I got to line up the cash. They said they sold it. I said, what? I said, what'd you sell it for? They said $34,000. Yeah, I deliberately paused right there. 34,000? No way. And so anyway, that was it. And I just blew it off. And the wife was like, yeah, I'm going to get into real estate. Okay, girl, you get into real estate, you did make 9 on me because I was going to pay 25. So I gave him, a baseline. And so it's crazy. I ran into the wife and I was like, hey, congratulations on selling the house. And honestly, I'm genuine. Like, I really did not want to buy the house, and I really offered what it was worth to me. And I was like, well, how did you sell this house? And she said, this is how I sold it. And I was like, tell me. She's like, I put it on Facebook in 2 community areas. She put it on the Midwest City Facebook page, like community bulletin board, marketplace, I'm not sure, and one in Choctaw. And those are the 2 areas. That house is not even in that area. The house was in Spencer. So when you hear Spencer in Oklahoma City, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm just trying to give you perspective. She put it on there. She said within an hour, she had 50 inquiries on that Facebook chain of communication. I want to see it. Tell me more about it. Blah, blah, blah. Within an hour, 50 inquiries. And I don't really, let's just say that gal is, exaggerating. Let's just say 30. Wow. Van Kallenberg, Savvy Landlord, out learning something new today. So I was like, okay. She said, then I had my husband, because I don't want to be there. I had him at the house from 11 a.m. on Saturday. She posted it on Tuesday from 11 until 1 o'clock. That was the showing. So she called, I posted it on Facebook. We're showing the house from 11 to 1. She said that there was a long line of cars trying to pull into the neighborhood to buy the house. What? I forgot to ask her what she advertised it for. She had 2 people that offered 34. One was contingency on finance. The other one was cash, and they closed that mother. Bing, bang, boom. Is that not an amazing deal? If you're not using Facebook, don't be like the Savvy Landlord and behind. And let me tell you another caveat here. So I'm trying to lose weight, trying to work out, and I've upgraded my little home gym. And I had this old weight bench. I had a rack. I had a bar. I had a bunch of random stuff that I wanted to sell. And I first put it on Facebook on my personal page, but nobody jumped on it. And maybe I overpriced it. And so I was like, look, I'm going to dump this stuff. So I got rid of a bunch of stuff. And that first photo, I didn't really get any inquiries. I put it on the Market Facebook page around 3:00, and at 5:30, I had it sold. Now, thank you to my homie JJ Grits, was in the office. He's like, dude, just put it on Craigslist. I didn't even put it on Craigslist. I didn't have time to put it on Craigslist. I just put it on the Facebook marketing or Facebook Market or Market Facebook, whatever it's called, and it sold. I had about 15 people blowing me up. Just idiots were like, I'll give you 100. I was selling it for 150, but I sold it. Girl came, picked it up 5:30. She was excited. She felt like she was blessed. I was blessed because I had to get rid of it. So listen, use Facebook. I think it's going to take over the world 3 to 5 years from now. I can't imagine what Facebook's going to be. Facebook Market, Facebook Groups, Facebook, go do it. Hey, if you like this episode, you got a deal, I want to hear about it. Go to thesavvyradioshow.com, leave a voicemail, and I'll drop it on the radio. Have a great day. Again, that's thesavvyradioshow.com.
Thanks for listening to The Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.